Thanks for joining us today here on Bulldog Blitz. I'm Sports Information Director Don Hammock. Bulldogs had a big 45-24 victory over Hinds. Final game of the 2018 regular season here at ALMA Memorial Stadium for homecoming. We'll talk with Coach Jack Wright while we look at some highlights and also interview wide receiver Sedevyn Gray, defensive back SchDarren Archie. Later in the show, we'll introduce you to offensive lineman Nick Dunomes, and the guys up front had a big day today. And lastly, we'll introduce you to our 2018 Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Stick around. We're here in ALMA Memorial Stadium with Coach Jack Wright. Jack, we've taken a few more minutes to kind of process this game. What do you think looking back at this game today?
Hard-fought game. Just like last week, you know, the score wound up being pretty good in our favor, but I never really felt comfortable until the clock hit 0. It was hard-fought. Give Hinds a lot of credit. Their kids played extremely hard. They came down here with a lot of pride, and they came down here to win the game. But we played really well. You know, only 2 turnovers was kind of the key. So just overall, very pleased, not only with this game, but just, you know, our effort and our consistency throughout the year.
Yeah, this was a game that had no playoff implications. Everybody's out of the playoffs. You could have had a team come in and lay down, and neither team did that. They were out there and fighting for pride, which was good.
No. We got some great kids. And anytime you play a football game, you know, the last thing on your mind is exactly what's on the line. Every time you snap the ball, you need to be focused on your assignment. Our kids did that tonight. They played extremely hard. We've got some guys that laid it out for this school today, and just proud of their effort.
You're a former offensive lineman. You got to be proud of what that group did. You ran for 350-something yards of offense, rushing offense.
Yeah, you know, that group just tickled to death with how we've been able to run the football all year. They are a very physical group. They take pride in being able to get a push up front. And that really shows off, you know, when a scheme is called, it doesn't really matter what the scheme is. If there's push, you're going to get positive yardage. That's been the case for us this year. That, you know, sometimes it hadn't been a matter of what we're running opposed to, you know, we're blocking it really well and getting it done. So, look, 352 rushing yards, that's incredible. That's a great night on the ground. It's going to be hard to lose a football game when you produce like that.
And your stable of running backs did a good job, I thought, maximizing yardage on each play. They were always squirming for an extra couple yards and taking stuff back inside the holes to get more yardage too.
It's been really fun all year to see those 3 running backs really push each other. There's been a lot of times this year where, you know, we've rolled 3 or 4 times during a drive. And that's just a belief that we have here, that fresh legs, you know, when you come in the middle of a drive with fresh legs, I believe that gives your offense a little bit of extra air. They've done that all year, but I think tonight what you saw was Terrion, his last game. He played high school football on this field. So his last game, probably ever on this field, you know, he ran with a little something extra tonight. You can kind of feel it on the sideline. I'm extremely proud of him.
Defensively, they totaled up close to 400 total yards. It's kind of a weird game. I thought that they got some plays that weren't necessarily the way they were calling up. But I think overall defensively, you know, I think they only allowed 17 points. We had a pick 6 go against us, so they still were tough out there.
Right. Defensively, you know, we've been a solid performance all year. I think, Don, and I'm going to have to, you know, confirm this on some websites or whatever, but I think we got the 2nd-ranked defense in the league. And just coming into this year, that group, that whole side of the ball has really exceeded expectations. The talent that we have over there, you know, we've done a great job of maximizing that as a coaching staff. Those guys are prepared every week. It's fun to see that side of the football play. There's a lot of speed on that side of the football, a lot of very good athletes, I've said that, and they're a joy to watch. I think in today's game of college football, when you limit teams to, you know, in that 250 to 350 range, those are incredible performances defensively with what offenses are doing these days.
And we're able to get some takeaways and stop drives going deep. They've been really good in, you know, their own red zone, keeping teams out of the end zone, making them really battle to get in there and make it go again.
Right. I mean, that's just, again, being prepared in those special situations, understanding what the offense is trying to do in a certain situation, potentially out of certain sets and personnel groups. They're prepared. They're ready to go. It's an older group. We're going to lose some of those guys. You talk about the linebacker group. We're going to lose some of those guys, and some of the guys in the secondary have played a lot of football here. So we're going to miss those guys. They played like an older group. They played, up to that expectations and a lot of times beyond.
Your first season at Gulf Coast, at least the regular season's over. What do you look back on and take out of this first year?
The thing that I'm really pleased with over the course of the year, I think we got a very consistent performance. And to me, that means, we're hitting pretty close to our potential. We started out really well in most of the games. If you look back at it, even today, we kind of had a lot of fast starts. That's unusual even, in my background. That means we had a lot of kids that were ready to play at kickoff. So very pleased with that. 7-2, I would have taken that, just to be honest with you, Don. I mean, there were some things that needed to be addressed when we got here, personnel-wise, and kudos to our staff for doing as good as we could, getting in here late in December as far as recruiting goes. But even beyond that, I am tickled to death with where this program is. I'm excited about what this school offers student-athletes. I'm excited about our facility. I'm excited about the academic support here. We're going to do very well in recruiting. We're going to do very well in recruiting, and I'm excited about the future.
I think the first year, probably the most important thing you can do in that is a culture thing, is getting your ways set into it, and I think you did a good job of doing that.
Thank you very much. I mean, a lot of that goes to the coaching staff. As you know, the daily interaction, with an assistant coach is where, that's in college football today, that's where you're going to make your headway. You're talking about coaches with the experience of Latrell Pollard and Brett Shufelt, who have been around the block and have been around kids. They know scheme, they know people. Their contacts are unlimited around the whole country. And I'm mentioning those too. But, you talk about Rod Smith, who's an up-and-coming great coach. Les George, what he's been able to do with the offensive line culture here in 5 years is incredible. And also, Bam Bryant, you see him work every day, Don. He does a fantastic job with our receivers. And I've got to mention Blake Hall and Randall Agee and Caleb Magruder. They're first-year coaching this year. They came along with us. You're talking about some very passionate, very hard-working people, and you will hear their name in coaching circles in the next 10 years. They're going to make some waves, and they'll be at some places and making an impact.
And those three coaches are on kind of the low end of the food scale, or pay scale even, and they're doing it because they love it and they want to do it in the future. So.
Right.
They've worked really hard this year.
Finding people that work like that are bright, that have good personalities, that come to work with a great attitude every single day, those guys are hard to find. We were tickled to death that they're here. And it's been fun to really see them grow into the role that they've been assigned this year. So those guys have done a fantastic job. They keep us all organized. They make us look a lot better than we really are. So special thanks to Coach Hall, Coach Agee, and Coach Magruder this year.
Jack, I really appreciate it this year. It's been a good ride, and look forward to what's coming ahead here with recruiting, and we'll have signing day stuff coming up here before we know it, and spring practice, and it'll all start right back over again.
It all starts over. I mean, I've kind of got the cycle down now a little bit, but I'm going to take a moment to breathe here and reflect a little bit and try to make this thing as good as it can be.
I'm going to sleep in Sunday morning. It'll be nice.
I think we all are.
Thanks, Jack.
Yep.
We're on the field with sophomore wide receiver Sedevyn Gray from Puckett. Sedevyn, played your last game here at AMA Memorial Stadium. What did today feel like for you?
It felt great. It was kind of sad, but I'm glad it ended well, and we had a great year this year.
You guys finished 7-2 today. You put up 45 points. The offense was really clicking today. What made y'all so effective?
Working hard on the game plan this week, and we're going out there and doing it to the best of our ability.
What happened on your touchdown play, the fade route there at the end?
I had told Chance, I was just like, I got you, you throw it up, bro. And he threw it up. I just had to go make a play for my team. I know they was waiting on it.
What'd you see from y'all's defense today? It looked like they had them in check pretty much most of the day.
Oh, yeah, our defense around the ball, and they was pursuing the ball great. And like I said, we worked hard on offense, and defense worked hard this week. And they just did the game plan and did it well.
Look back on this year, what do you take out of it?
Growing as a team, coming together as brothers, and learning something, not just in football and just life.
All right, congratulations, Sedevyn. We'll see you around next year, I'm sure, somewhere.
Thank you.
We're on the field with freshman defensive back SchDarren Archie from Brandon. SchDarren, You guys closed out 2018 with a win, finished 7-2. What was today like for y'all?
Today was good, knowing we can finish the season with a win, and we would have more play for playoffs. But since playoffs was over with our hosts, we just want to come out and get a win.
Defensively, I thought you had them in check most of the day. Why were y'all so effective against them?
Coach just told us to get out of them early in the game, so at the end of the game it would be easy. They'll get tired. We ready.
What'd you see from y'all's offense today? They were in command most of the day.
The big guys up front, they really moved that D-line. They was able to run the ball. Then with them running, it opened up passing.
Definitely the O-line was eating today for sure.
Oh, yes, that's the best I ever seen them play today.
What do you take out of this year, finishing 7-2? Looking back, what does it feel like for you?
I feel good. It just feels good knowing we get 7-2. But I think over the summer we can get work, get better, and finish better next year.
Congratulations, SchDarren. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Everyone has a similar choice to make: to coast through life or do more. Take advantage of financial aid. Take a class for college credit or a degree. Take stock of your goals and work smart toward accomplishing them. And you can do so much more than coast through life. Gulf Coast Through Life at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College.
We'd like to introduce you to our 2018 MGCCC Athletic Hall of Fame honorees, 5 former players who did great things here at Gulf Coast.
I started playing football around the age of 6. It was 6 or 8, and I was normally bigger than the other kids at that age, so it was something fun to do and stay in shape. I played D-line a couple of times, but that's about it. I'm a little bit better at it. D-line can be fun, but I feel like I'm more of an offensive line kind of guy. It's a lot more complicated, not like that. Most of the time our calls and our responsibilities are based off the defensive fronts and stuff and where they line up, so we have to make adjustments on the fly, and that can be in a split second, or it can be, it varies, so you just got to be ready to adjust. Gulf Coast was close to home. Coach George seemed like a really nice guy. He a really competitive guy. That was just the first impression I got from him, and when he brought up how good Gulf Coast was academically, that was a huge part of me coming here too. It's been pretty fun. It shows me more of the business side of football, having him as a head coach, and it's also nice to have a former offensive line player at head coach. I mostly spend my time outside of football, outside of meetings. I'm either at the LRC or in class. So I'm studying kinesiology and like exercise physiology, so I could get into most like just working out and probably end up being like a personal trainer. I used to play video games, but I cut that out this sophomore year because I never really had time for it. But if I do have a little free time, I'll hop on YouTube and watch some videos, or I'll watch a football game if that's on. I take a good amount of pride in it, and you don't usually get much coverage from it from the media, but it's nice to know that they wouldn't be able to do that without us, and it's nice to know that we got an important position. Family, I was raised Christian, and they're a huge influence on how I am today and what kind of person I am. And my dad was a huge part of that. My mom really kept me in physical activities because she was really concerned for my health. So.
No one should have to choose between their family and their future, between creating opportunity or acquiring mountains of debt. It's easier sometimes to just coast through life. But what if there was a place that made it just as easy to do more, so much more than coast through life? Gulf Coast Through Life at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College.
6'1" Clifford Sonny Brown came to Gulf Coast from Pascagoula in 1961 and played for the late Bob Weathers. As a freshman, Brown played in 13 games before being sidelined with an injury. However, he helped lead the Bulldogs to the South Division title in the spring of 1962. That championship was the first of many for Coach Weathers and the Bulldogs, and the first ever basketball title for the college, dating all the way back to 1925. That team also hosted the state tournament and finished second. Brown returned as a sophomore, led the team in rebounds with 130 and scored 139 points, including a record 63 field goals. Those efforts helped the Bulldogs pull off a 12-0 conference record, including a couple of huge wins over arch rival Pearl River. Robert Elam was a three-sport letterman at Pascagoula High School, and in 1953 he put those talents to use at Perk. Elam played quarterback for Coach Harold War Daddy White. That 1953 team went 7-3-1, with the tie coming against Colin in the Laurel Lions Bowl. It proved to be Coach White's only football trophy, while Elam and the rest of his teammates received wristwatches for their efforts. The next year, Elam and freshman Eddie Kayat became a formidable quarterback-receiver duo. The Bulldogs played Tulane's freshman team to the wire in '54 and also led Perk to a tie with nationally ranked Tyler, Texas. Later that year, Elam was a one-man wrecking crew in a 13-0 win to spoil Colin's homecoming. He earned all second-team state honors and was named the team's best all-around athlete. Just like at Pascagoula, Elam was a three-sport letterman at Gulf Coast. Philip Hickam began playing golf for Gulf Coast in the fall of 2014, and by the 2015 spring season, Hickam was a Bulldog golf mainstay as the team won another MACJC state championship, and Hickam earned all MACJC first-team honors. With Hickam on the squad, head coach Tommy Snell's crew also won its 8th straight Region 23 title and advanced to the NJCAA Division II tournament, where the Bulldogs took home their second third-place finish in a row. Hickam took second place individually in that tournament and was named an NJCAA first-team All-American. As a sophomore, Hickam helped lead Gulf Coast to another state championship and earned second-team All-MACJC honors. He and the Bulldogs went on to make it 9 straight Region 23 crowns, and at the Nationals, Gulf Coast finished 4th, and Hickam picked up another All-American honor. Moss Point's Richard Huff brought his all-Big 8 credentials to Gulf Coast and suited up for head football coach George Seacool in 1967. At the end of that season, Huff and the Bulldogs beat Jones 39-21 in Gulfport to give the team its second state championship in a row. He and the Bulldogs came back to defend their title in 1968 and try to make it a state championship three-peat. However, this time Jones won the game and took home the hardware. Huff's work on the gridiron, though, earned him all-state honors, and he was chosen to be part of the '68 South Mississippi All-Star team. Huff went on to play football at Mississippi College, where he was a 2-year letterman. In 1973, Coach Seacool picked his mythical Team of the Decade, and Huff was on it as one of the team's offensive linemen. 2 of Huff's sons went on to play football at Gulf Coast, while one of his sons was Bulldogs head football coach from 2014 to 2017. Butch Raley was a 3-sport letterman at Biloxi High, but chose to play baseball at Gulf Coast for head coach Curly Ferris. Raley played catcher and batted .300 on the 1968 Bulldog team that whipped Jones 21-1 in Ellisville to secure a 6th straight South Division title. That team went on to win the state championship and finished with a 16-3 record, which was an all-time best season at that time. In 1969, Raley and the Bulldogs rolled to a 7th straight South Division crown. They took on Mississippi Delta for the state title, and in the deciding game, Raley helped Perk beat the Trojans 7-2 to make it 4 state championships in a row for baseball. The '69 season wasn't over, as the Bulldogs played for the first time in the NJCAA Eastern District Tournament in North Carolina. Gulf Coast lost, but Raley played well and was named to the All-District team. After graduating, Raley was a standout baseball player at Tulane and led the team twice in RBI.
Thank you for joining us for another year of Bulldog Blitz. We'll see you next time right here, Bulldog Blitz.